Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Game number 2 of the grand finals here for the major All-Stars Fallout Tournament. European NiP versus Team Empire. Empire taking game number 1 after a slugfest over 60 minutes back and forth. I'm Zyori, joined once again by Kotlguy. Dakota, who's taking game number 2, man? This seems like one hell of a close series.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost feels like a coin flip's chance. That game 1 was nauseating. You know, it was just ridiculous. It was like Toby's wet dream with all those black holes. And that dunk at the end was ridiculous. Yeah. That was highlight worthy. I don't know what else to say. That was a pleasure to watch, I guess is the final thing I'll say about it. But we can only hope that game number 2 can live up to the hype of game number 1. If you missed game number 1, well, you better go back and check the VOD because it was crazy. So with that, Ninjas in Pajamas, now down 1 game, a really hard game. And Empire feeling confident being on match point. They're just that 1 win away from getting that ticket to Malaysia to compete for that 6-figure prize pool. And, well, they lead things off in this draft with an Earthshaker and a Sniper grab. The first one we'll see today. Ninjas in Pajamas, they put their priority of their first pick in getting up the axe here. We'll see how they want to respond to gap close the Sniper. Clockwork is usually the top candidate, but they've already committed an axe here. We'll have to see what they do.
All right, so NiP, this time they ban out the Dazzle, a hero that Empire has been liking quite a bit, and the Troll, one of the Spin Lords. Empire banned out a couple of the supports, the Wisp and the Chen. We've seen Hanskins Chen quite a bit this tournament, and today in particular. Wisp, not one we've seen NiP run too much, but a pocket strat they will pull out from time to time. Wisp Tiny is within their arsenal, even just regular Tiny, as we saw earlier. Not something NiP are afraid to pull out. So thinking hard about this second choice, we'll see what they grab to pair with their axe. Vengeful Spirit, I think, probably pretty high on their priority list. But no, they go with the Rubik to get things started.
Interesting to pick up a Rubik this early. Earthshaker's obviously a great spell steal. Fissure is insta-cast on Rubik, and we already know and saw in last game how much a Fissure can certainly help. Just the long range, able to cancel any sort of, you know, like a death ward, someone trying to hide in the back for a setup, could prevent early blinkins. You can even get a hold of a sniper who's trying to hide in the back lines and set it up for one of your other teammates to make the jump on forward. But it also could be a play where they want to grab it up early for themselves, and they will build up more team fight and maybe some more succulent Rubik grabs, you know, get the maybe even Enigma still on their team for Jonas. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Now, part of this could be anticipation of a potential Veno pick. I know NiP prioritized Veno a lot, especially when they were running 8 Mother, and I know one hero they consider a potential counter is Rubik, partially for that null field, so you just have a way of dealing with all that magical damage coming your way, but also because of the spell steal. You can steal the Veno's wards early on, usually very easy to do, and that means Rubik can farm by himself. He can solo farm the jungle, move around lanes, and he can get a lock done with wards around the map, and it's one of those steals that you can pretty much rely on getting throughout the vast majority of the game. So maybe just hedging their bets a little bit if for some reason they feel like that's a go-to pick for Empire this go-around.
We'll have to see. It's intense. They're thinking it really sweating the clock here for this one. But getting something like this Viper just strikes a chord to me. They're going to go melee core potentially with it. Not something they're looking to get kited about too easy, or at least they don't want too much domination and anyone to really add pressure to Sniper. Getting rid of Storm Spirit, I think, is just a fantastic ban right there. Sniper just does no good when Snipers or Storm Spirit's getting up in your grill. And now an AA going to get picked up. Pretty early preemptive AA. Not really a lot of heal that you're trying to nerf down. Does, of course, force NiP to kind of second guess maybe their upcoming picks if they were, let's say, trying to grab a bit of sustain as their secondary support, or, you know, maybe any sort of Slark grab or anything. Definitely is a bit of a game changer here. Enhances the level 1 game pretty significantly here for Empire. Gank and aggression, though, I don't really see it there. Not AA and Earthshaker too much. I feel like they want to do it more defensive. They could even just do Yoki again in the offlane Earthshaker. I'm wagering Ninjas might consider a greedy secondary support.
I would wager that as well. Okay, Lion. Not as greedy as they could have gone, but greedy-ish. Yeah, very aggressive, that's for sure. If he can find a little bit of farm, maybe get that fast blink dagger, channel his inner fogged, if you will, get that 10-minute blink, start wreaking havoc around the map. Could be a possibility for the Demon Witch there in the hands of the Ninjas in Pajamas. Empire, what are they thinking? They need a couple of cores here. Probably your Silent and Yoki heroes. I would reckon Resolution will be the one to pick up the Sniper. So how do they want to round this draft out? They need a little more control. I think they've got a good start with the Earthshaker, but getting an offlaner with some team fight, something like a Tide could be an option here. But I think they need somebody to make some space for that Sniper.
Yeah, Tide's definitely still an option. We don't know yet if this could not be another Yoki Earthshaker. Maybe he's on the Earthshaker binge now like he was once with Axe.
That's true. I keep assuming he's on the 4, but yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's a 3 Earthshaker.
But Brew picked up now, so who is going to be the mid laner now between Sniper and Brew? More than likely could be still a safe lane Brew. Hell, it could be an off lane Brew.
Yeah.
Empire love throwing together these drafts where we're just like theory crafting out to wazoo. And you just imagine NiP are just also like, oh, what? Wait, how are they going to lane this now? What do we need to do? And they start thinking extra hard about this. They need to make sure that if they don't judge the laning setup properly, they have something to fall back on, or they can make a quick audible to change things up, or they need to get hostile early just to kind of get a bit of that intel as far as where the lanes are going to develop. But to the benefit of Empire, if they want to get hostile early, they have AA already. They have great level 1 fights, so it's going to be crazy. And now with Brewmaster, they have someone who can create the space, who could be like the bouncer for that mid game, and allow people like Sniper to really develop and blossom into the late game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to say it's going to be a safe lane Brew. Again, for Empire, they can still switch this up however they want, but prioritizing that Blink Dagger is great. And getting him some nice solo farm, especially if NiP do a safe lane try themselves, then he should have a pretty easy time. We'll see what NiP end up putting in the off lane. But if he can get a 10, 11-minute blink, then he can start making space for the Sniper, get a little more aggressive, and all of a sudden options start opening up for Empire. But here we go. A core lock for the NiP squad. This is exciting stuff. Warlock is damn good. I think if he's in a farming role, he is hard to deal with, good sir.
And it's long range. Dropping the rock can be cast from a ridiculous amount of range. I've seen teams even pick up Warlock to go against Naga when she was in her heyday, just because you could still cast it outside of her sleep zone and stop her from TPing out, regardless of BKB or not. But more than likely, as of recent, it's in that core position, get in that Ags and Refresher, and if you're not winning at that moment, then I don't know what the hell you're doing wrong. At that point, you just have so much destruction that you're looking to just kind of mow over the team. And Sniper is not one to have a lot of hit points typically, unless he gets huge farm later into the game. But by that point, that's when the rocks start coming in and things get a bit scary. I was wagering maybe they're going to go with some anti-initiation. You got Earthshaker, you got Brew, who are trying to kind of get in and be the front liners. Maybe something like a Zeus could have prevented them, or even a Venomancer. But a Warlock. All right.
So curious how NiP will lane this. Again, there's pretty ambiguous. They could do safe lane farming Warlock. They could put him mid, or they could even try to put him in the off lane. A lot of different options here. Same with Axe. They could really put him in pretty much any role. So these final picks, very ambiguous for both sides. Phoenix, the final ban from NiP. PA from Empire. And there's the Disruptor, the final choice from Empire. And it looks like, again, it will be the core Earthshaker. I would guess it's in the hands of Yoki. Headed to that off lane once more, Dakota.
Yeah, still doesn't really convince me what the laning setup is. The easy one is Sniper mid, Brew in the safe lane with some support help, and Earthshaker once again in his off lane. But remember, it was last game they started in a bit of an aggro setup to allow Earthshaker to get the early boom, I believe.
It was a 2-on-2, right? The Dazzle stayed down bottom with the ES.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, they could still stick with the dual kind of get up here. So we'll have to see. That could change depending on the 5th pick here for NiP, who they might need some follow-up late game.
Yeah, they need their big bad era hero. Unless they want to go hyper-aggressive, they could try to push off these Warlock ultimates and go for something a little bit less conventional here. Or they could... Okay, Lycan. Looks like they'll do a hybrid. They want to do some pushing, as well as have somebody that can scale towards that late game. And old Big Woofy, he can definitely do both of those.
Good on Dire's side. You got the Roche potential clearly there. He can easily run down and race car his way towards Sniper, get in his grill in his face. Can be a bit sketchy against someone like Earthshaker. You're probably going to have a lot of summons on your side, and Earthshaker can kind of get in your grill about that. But really, the lockdown, it's not crazy, I would say. You got Earthshaker. You don't have a stun on AA. Sniper no stun. Disruptor has glimpse and the silence if you're able to hold him. But even, I know I play a lot of Disruptor. getting a hold of Lycan inside that kinetic field can be tricky. Even with a proper glimpse back, he can just move so fast. He'll just run out of your field and run out of your static storm like it's nothing. And then maybe a cyclone. I just feel like there might not be enough CC and lockdown to stop and cage this wolf. But this is just theory. It all comes down to execution. And the last game you saw, execution is just what makes the game.
No, I mean, you're definitely right. This is a game where Lycan should be able to get pretty much everything he wants. Fissure may get in his way a little bit. The Disruptor could get in his way with glimpses, with kinetic fields. But aside from that, there is not a lot to keep this wolf at bay. Empire will start off aggressive once more, rotating through the jungle here, almost initiating on the Warlock, but not quite finding the angle. Big pings coming out onto Era, but Yoki saving his mana for now. And it looks like Empire not going to find anything out of this invade except a sentry ward to block this hard camp here.
Yeah, a bit interesting. They have somewhat of a jungling presence here. Uh-oh, they get a hold of Aloha Dance. Fissure's going to be there to slow him down, but he's on the other side with the telekinesis. They throw him back. This is going to be a quick first blood, and it goes to Handskin. So striking first is going to be NiP right before the sound of the horn.
Yeah, great news for Handskin, of course, on the Demon Witch. He's already got his early boots, but already 400 gold in the bank. I talked about him having a fast blink dagger, and, well, that is one way to get to it. We'll have Jonas in the off lane here on the Axe, already going blow for blow with Silent, and he seems to be winning the duel after getting a lucky counter helix there. In the mid lane, it will be Limp playing on the farming Warlock. Null Tally, couple of branches, and a few tangos to boot. Seal Kid on the Grand Magus Rubik. Handskin on the Lion, and that leaves us with Era on the Lycanthrope here, farming in the safe lane.
And for Radiant side, we got the Empire. Looking really good in game number 1. They get their first win. Resolution's going to be playing that mid lane sniper, going against the core Warlock here. Probably not a familiar matchup that he's used to. We don't frequently get to see the Lock and Sniper go toe-to-toe. So I'm curious to see. He's got a lot of right-click, though, with that Null on the side of Lock. Top lane, Yoki once again, all about the Earthshaker here. For now on the solo off lane, kind of get up. Bottom lane, it's going to be the trifecta here. We got Aloha Dance, who unfortunately was caught out in that first blood playing your Disruptor. Silent going to be playing the core Brew, and that leaves Always Want to Fly on your AA. Bit questionable always picking something like a Brew into this day and age where Axe is all the rage. But he's looking to try to make it pay off, be that frontliner, create the space for the Sniper here. But NiP, man, I feel like they're going to be one step ahead because you got that rock. It's going to lock them in place, and by that point, NiP are going to be able to mow on forward and get the setups they want. I have to say, drafting-wise, I give a slight nod to NiP, but I'm just a nub. What do I know? I gotta always preface it with that.
We're just humble casters. Make sure nobody out there thinks we're smarter than we are. We know. We're not pro players, but no, the laning phase should be pretty even, I think. Silent's going to farm quite a bit. Era's going to farm quite a bit. Not really much they can do to stop it. Jonas getting okay experience in the offlane on Axe. Finding a couple of last hits, soon to be level 2. It's Yoki, who's the one in Strug City right now. Halfway through level 2, but already leaving the top lane. Up top, Jonas, or bottom lane rather, yep. He's going to get telekinesis back, and I think he's going to fall here unless he can get a lucky spin. Maybe he can find Aloha Dance spin to win, baby! And he's going to lose this time. That's unfortunate.
Yep, RNG not with him. One, maybe 2 more spins for sure. Could have got his own bit of return kill, but hey, what a beautiful Glimpse setup. Disruptor was riding his coattails all the way back towards the tower. Glimpse at level 1 doesn't have the biggest range, but if you see the opportunity on a melee hero like Axe, you can easily catch him out of position just like that, and they get it done. They strike back, they get their own kill, and things are evened up 1 for 1.
Yep. All right, mid lane, how's this farm looking? Wow, Limp is dominating all over Resolution right now. A lot of it is that last hit damage, like you mentioned. Warlock with about a 20 damage bump over the Sniper at these early levels. So not too surprising. I guess it's more just the margins that are surprising me. 12 and 10 versus the 5 and 3 Sniper. Pretty damn one-sided here.
Yeah, Resolution's banking on getting a few more levels so that he could certainly have more of an upper hand here, but you got Limp with the sustained power here. He can just kind of hold his own, take care of that shrapnel, and just keep pressing forward. And bottom lane, again, you want to keep zoning him back. There's the Glimpse once more as he tries to run back to tower. Desperate, maybe looking for a TP buy. Oh, he's caught in the kinetic field, and he might drop once more, and will. And they have a number right now for this Axe, and they just continue to punish him in this bottom lane.
Yeah, Brew secures that kill. That makes him 2-0-0 now. 17 last hits to his name. He's in good shape. This is, I think, about for sure that Silent will have a well-timed blink. Already picking up power treads. And we'll still be able to get a blink around that normal timing. Handskin looking for the high ground. Will get blocked out from the fissure. And we'll just camp out this top 4-minute rune. Limp already walking his way over. And we'll be able to put it in the bottle. Seal Kid's actually smoked up on this Rubik, so maybe they'll have a go at the mid lane. Or maybe not. Empire already headed down bottom. They will be able to bottle up this regen rune. Well, there's no bottle, but Resolution will treat himself to this regeneration rune. There you go, Slowpoke.
Yeah, rune split a piece. Axe is like, forget it. I'm done. No more off lane. To the jungle I go. It was preemptively blocked earlier from Empire, but that big stack over there is now spawned. I don't know if they dewarded or not, but it's at the ready here. And he's just going to have to find his farm somewhere. So with that, you got free space for your Brew to farm up, who not only got the early kill, he's going to make great timing for a Blink Dagger, and then he's going to look to try to make some action happen.
Yep, and it'll be all about what Empire can do off that Blink Dagger. Resolution's going to need a lot of help to recover if this lane keeps up the way that it is. Still getting massively out-farmed, and it's not even just about that raw CS 10 to 21, but also the denies. I mean, look at this. Limp is halfway through level 6. Resolution is halfway through level 4. That is a scary disparity, and Empire respecting the power of the Warlock, pulling a rotation here.
Four-man rotation.
Can they find the kill? Maybe they can. Limp's got a rock. Does he drop it? Throws out the heal on himself. There's the rock. Can't stop the rock. Goes out onto Yoki. Out comes the, not the Fatal Bombs, rather, the Upheaval. Slowing down, always want to fly. Let's Seal Kid close the gap. Glimpse back onto Seal Kid, but always want to fly. Will die to the Battle Hunger. And Jonas will be the one that gets credit for that kill. So not getting the most out of the first Warlock ultimate, but they stop that 4-hero rotation first of all, and then get one out of it.
I think that's big, and they can already sense Empire's like, we need to help out our sniper. He's definitely getting his ass beat here in the mid lane quite a bit. Let's help him out. Let's rotate in. But NiP quickly rotate with a good counter initiation. Probably not as big of a spread as they wanted to commit with the rock, but still, it's enough to keep them back and will allow Limp to continue to dominate here. And
it keeps Limp farming, that's for sure. Not an easy easy unit to last hit against.
They're not letting up. Here comes Silent. He's got the split. And now with no rock, they feel more confident going in for the Warlock here. But he's like, I got to go the other way. Running right towards top where the Bounty Rune has spawned here.
Yep, smart use of the Golem.
Oh, God, he's going to cut him off with a DD. Fisher's going to be there. Lift, though. As Seal Kid comes in, throws him to low ground. That Glimpse not going to do a whole lot. Sends him away, and they're going to walk away from that potential gank.
Wow, Empire kind of in disarray there. The Fissure seemed good at first, but then kind of broke that fight up. Didn't really seem clear whether Empire wanted to engage or if they wanted to retreat off that. But regardless, they won't get what they were hoping for as Brew walked all the way to the mid lane just to move into the jungle and find some farm with this double damage rune. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the quiet one we haven't talked about so much, Era, already completed his Vladimir's offering, doing a lot of damage to this tier 1 tower. Lycan having a very good time in this safe lane as the last hit leader.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't really sleep on a lycanthrope like this. He's going to build up a wealth of farm while you have your hands full like this frickin' Warlock in the mid lane. He's going to come behind the back and he's going to take a Roche right before you expect it, and that's something that Empire need to be on high alert for as well. So while they are doing very well in the bottom lane, even bullying Axe out from the lane and Silence being able to get a lot, they can't find too much elsewhere. Clearly mid and top are going in the favor of NiP.
Definitely. Resolution now spending some time in the jungle, gets his Aquila completed, so at least getting some extra damage now, a little bit of extra armor, his life getting slightly easier. Warlock probably looking for a Hand of Midas here. His farm still not really that out of control, but the Hand of Midas, Ags, Refresher, your pretty standard Warlock build. Whoa, top lane, Yoki initiated on, losing his mana. Easy dive for Era. Pops the ultimate and takes him down. That'll make it 3-2 at the 8-minute mark as NiP reclaimed the lead, and we'll probably look to pressure this tier 1 tower.
NiP put down a pretty nice aggro ward behind that tier 1 tower in the top lane. They can see if backup's waiting nearby, if rotations are coming in the dark, and they're going to see the rotation here. They want to pressure and finish off this tower, though. Glyph was already used. It's always want to fly here. Uh-oh. Now he has help here as Yoki returns, but NiP get what they want as far as objectives, and they look to peace on out here. Lycan heads home. Handskin, though, not so lucky. Cold Feet's going to be there. He will be brought down. Always Want to Fly is going to get that kill. And it ends up being a tower for an AA trade, plus Warlock went down.
Yeah, in the mid lane, I caught the beginning of that. Now up top, they will get the Ancient Apparition, and they end up getting the Golem kill in the mid lane. Nice 100 gold bounty going to either Resolution or Silent. Not sure who got the last hit off that one. So sort of another one of these chaotic games where there's multiple fights breaking out at once. Warlock got ganked mid, and it was kind of funny. As you were telling that tale of ganks coming from the darkness in the lane ward, there was a panda that wrapped around from the darkness, past the tier 1, and jumped on that Warlock, used his primal split, and Limp did commit the rock for it, didn't keep him alive, nor did it garner any extra kills. And, well, not really a waste of the ultimate. Did keep some of the heroes busy in the mid while they were fighting up top.
Jonas has returned back to his offlane since the shaky start, and he's quickly thrown together from his time in the jungle about 1,800 gold, so he's not on too bad of timing here to get that Blink Dagger, and then things get pretty fun for NiP. And at that point, with Axe really looking to snowball out of control, Era, here he goes, into the Roche spot. It was pinged. I couldn't quite see the color if it was pinged out from Empire or not. We do have Aloha Dance heading towards the area. Uh-oh. Era thinks he has an easy grab here, but it's going to get scouted out. Axe is nearby and could cut him off from behind. Wolves are going to be popped. Aloha Dance is in trouble. Drops down the kinetic field. Will help him temporarily from Axe, but it's not going to help him from the Wolves. He gets chomped down to little bits. Empire know exactly what's happening here, but I don't know if they have the defense to stop it.
I'm not sure if they do either. Without Primal Split, I don't think they really want to commit to the pit. Now Resolution, caught inside of the upheaval. Fissure not going to interrupt Limp. And this is the space creation Limp is hoping for, or all of NiP are hoping for from Limp right now. Era hit by the Ice Blast. They see how low Roche is. They might make a movement towards the pit. Roche will go down to Era, gets scouted out, and still no kills. Silent losing his mana, doesn't have the split for another 10, but now Jonas, he goes down. Limp going to be isolated in from a beautiful Fissure. He'll probably fall now off to the side. Era stuck inside of a kinetic field. That'll be the end of the Aegis. And Silent will sip the bottle. Will he even burn the split here? Thunderclap, still trying to save the split if possible. Yeah, Lycan's already used his ultimate. So this will be a easy pick, and Empire, they're going to be the ones that come out way ahead in this fight. So 1 for 3, and the net worth changes even more than that. This one doesn't count the second death from Lycan. So there you go. Empire don't get Roche, but they make up for it in other ways.
I think maybe if NiP just waited a little bit longer, that little bit longer would have had the Chaotic Offering up and ready for any sort of Roche engagement. You would have had potentially Blink ready on Axe for that Roche engagement, and I think it was just a little too soon. And with that, Empire are able to capitalize. They take over the fight. They get their Aegis taken down immediately, and now they're got to be feeling pretty confident after what was a bit of a sticky early laning phase. Now they're taking the game right back. Uh-oh.
Oh, Seal Kid. Oh, yeah. Mama.
Beautifully set up.
1 second, full HP right in front of his tower. 2 seconds later, dead. That is... Poor guy, he just keeled over.
Well, that's communication at its best, especially when you got someone like an AA on your team. AA, Wisp, these are support heroes that you got to make sure you have a team to back you up. And you're like, okay, I'm going to engage mid. Fire out the ult. You know, ult's fired. And then when they time it out beautifully, they get the setup, and there's really not much you can do about it. And they demonstrate it right there with an easy pick on Rubik.
Okie dokie, 8-5, 12-minute sim. Empire taking this game. It was NiP ahead basically at all stages of the early game, but after these back-to-back good fights, Empire has taken the gold and the experience advantage. Ancient Apparition able to get a well-timed Midas here just past the 12-minute mark as he walks back to the well, already level 8. Will be on his way to a pretty good timing on that Aghanim Scepter. Sniper has also recovered a lot. Uh-oh, well, hold that thought, though. Is in the mid lane. Aloha Dance jumped on by Jonas, showing off that new Blink Dagger. Finds the dunk. And that'll be a pick-off for NiP. But Resolution has really recovered well here, Dakota. He's number 3 on net worth overall. And he's surpassed that Warlock by a pretty big bump. 4,900 net worth to the 33 of the Warlock.
Yeah. And he'll be able to really unsheath his fury if Empire are able to kind of make sure he gets that space to work with and he has that proper positioning. I wouldn't put it past him to consider getting up something like a Blink Dagger in this kind of game just to make sure he could be in that optimal spot, or if he needs to wait back and behind, you know, for the rock to drop and then come into the fight into a good spot. We'll have to see. But yeah, now with the Axe and his Blink Dagger, Empire are going to be wary of that. They get their first kill on the mid lane. They're creating space for bottom, and you really can't count out pushing power that NiP do have. With the rock, with Lycanthrope, you'll lose your towers pretty damn fast if you're not careful.
Bottom tier 1 goes down, and the top tier 1 will go down in favor of the Radiants. There's a little tower for tower exchanging. Does NiP continue to clear out the jungle? Any new item pickups worth commenting on? Nope, not yet.
Limp needs to get his Midas.
Yeah, this
close, but he needs it. He needs to get this Agnes together. I mean, he's faltered off a bit ever since that Roche fight. It doesn't seem like he's really buckled down to the fight, but now they're going to engage. Static Storm right on top of the axis. He makes the jumping, so he can't dunk, but still going toe-to-toe. The rock follow-up helps finish him off, and the dunk coming through from Yoki. We'll make it a trade now. 3 for 1, a resolution. He's got his position now, and he's just unclicking, right clicks all over the place. Triple kill for your sniper.
Oh my. NiP, now they're in a really rocky position. Era, he'll just TP out. Not much Silent can do here to slow him down. A 1 for 4 trade, just a terrible spot for NiP to initiate in. They kind of got initiated on when they weren't ready. They had a golem. It felt good. The Static Storm to get things started felt pretty good as well. The problem is it didn't stop the Brew from splitting, and it didn't stop Resolution from just laying in the shells from the side. He did so much damage that fight, left completely unchecked while they were all trying to scatter from the Brew. The other thing is, if the Brew is already running amok and you drop the golem, you've still got these Brewlings that are running around.
What's this courier doing?
Whoa. Whoa.
It just flew to mid lane.
I see his little body. Courier. Please.
I'm like looking at like that's a dire courier going right to Empire.
Did it deliver anything? What was it?
Maybe he thought it was a wolf. I don't even know. That was it wasn't even going to anyone. It was just, okay. Well,
all right. Well, NiP tilting here.
I deposited in the bank yesterday.
Yeah, NiP's like falling apart here. It was such a good game. This mid lane went from Warlock dominating. I'm having nightmares about this sniper's farm 15 minutes from now. And now it's Limp who's like on the road for a recovery Midas, and this sniper who's nearly doubling his farm. I mean, the roles here in this mid have just completely flipped sides. Now Empire, 5 hero smoke. Where are they going? They're going to walk right by the tower, head towards the mid, and see if they can find a pick.
Just to give you a perspective, Always Want to Fly has his Midas, has had his Midas much before this Warlock. So
yeah.
Empire, they've made a recovery from what looked like 2 out of 3 lanes lost, and ever since that Roche fight, it's just been all theirs. And then they get the triple kill. They have got a big ball that they have wound up. Now they see Jonas. They get the fissure. Shrapnel, he's not blinking anywhere. Secondary Shrapnel slowing him down. Here comes the pelt. Poke, poke, poke. Glimp's going to be on back. See you later, buddy. Immediate easy kill. Resolution. Wicked sick on his sniper. Oh man, not going to be as close of a game as it would appear as game number 1. Empire.
Seal Kid walks right into Silence. Seal Cub clubbing club. It's going to be another easy one. Sniper from long range assassinates him to finish him off Abe Lincoln style. As Empire just gets kill after kill up on the scoreboard, trying to do a little bit of split pushing, but it's just tickling Empire at this point. Is Era going to be punished here?
Era's going to get stunned. He can't go anywhere now. They have him locked down.
Oh my
Glimpse
God.
if you try to TP, sir. No, no, no. You're not going anywhere. Easy kill. Godlike.
The dog has been put to sleep. Silent, though, bites off more than he can chew. I'm not really sure what he was doing this close to a tier 2 tower by himself, but he is punished, and that is a streak ended in favor of Jonas, who gave him the slam dunk. So at least they get that kill, but seems like a very small pick-me-up against all this momentum that Empire has. Now about 5,000 gold, 4,000 experience in the lead.
This game went to disaster so fast for NiP. I can't even believe it. It's crazy. That first Roche engagement, maybe if they waited just a little bit longer, they'd have so much more ammunition for a big team fight. But that was just enough boost for Empire, and they continue to build up more and more. The items start coming together. They have all the tools they want at this point. Well, NiP are just still trying to put together scraps. Oh my God.
Your mic went robotic for like a third of a second, right when you were at like the crescendo of what you were saying, and it sounded like that you were just so upset that your voice just couldn't get out words. Just so like, this is falling apart so quickly, I am beyond human noises. I like it. It was appropriate emphasis for the point. Because now Empire, they'll 5-man smoke. They're going to keep this aggression going, man. There's no stopping it.
There's no reason to. At this point, they've snowballed up a nice point. They don't even want to have NiP dream of the chance of coming back into this one. Oh, look at this sweet stack you're working with here. Oh, Era, you want that?
Hello,
no,
Era.
Move on in. Thunderstrike, Glimpse. You're not going anywhere. Lockdown Factor. You're done. You're dead. We're gonna take your stack. We're gonna be here for when Roche pops up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh man, that's the double whammy right there. They get the kill on the wolf, and they kill his ancient stack. Boy, does that hurt. And just keep rubbing some salt in that wound.
This is a rough game to watch. If you're an NiP fan, after what was a big game #1, they put together a strong defense. Empire managed to withstand and bring the game back. This one, though, would take one hell of a defense, one hell of a comeback. I mean, we already need to considering what kind of defense NiP will be able to bring together, because once this Roche is up, it's clear Empire have the better team fight at this point. It would take one hell of a behind-the-back play for NiP to take this Roche without them knowing. And then with an Aegis on the side of Empire, they pretty much can do as they want. They'll probably clear out the remaining tier 2s and then look to threaten high ground in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, they're at that luxury state right now where their 2 cores are farming huge, topping the charts by a big margin over the Wolf. And, well, they can either take this late game or they can just try and push and take down structures. They can kind of do whatever they want as long as they keep playing this style that they are now. For NiP, though, not all bad news. Hanskin gets a Blink Dagger, so now they've got some Hex Initiation to go with that Finger of Death. Jonas, Invisibility Rune online, has a Blade Mail to return some, and, well, Warlock finally got his Midas. Now the quest for the Aghanims begins. 20 minutes in, he's got the point booster. Yeah, Limp was just hoping his farm would be better than this one. Now those 4 heroes will smoke up. They'll rendezvous with the Invisible Axe, and now NiP will be the ones to go on the aggressive and try and bring the fight to Empire.
Maybe that's what it takes. Pull out the surprise play, maybe bait someone out here. They have eyes on mid lane. Empire, this is a bit fishy. Where the hell is NiP? They're going to look to scout out even Roche at this point, which is not going to be there. They don't want to show also. I was going to say they don't want to show they use the AA ult, but they do. And conveniently, it goes right through Era, so he gets hit early with it. And now they go on in. Can they take this time quick enough? They lose this fight. I don't know. I don't know.
Doing it quick. Empire are making the move. They're on their way over. Roche at about half health. They're going to make it in time to intercept. Here we go. Hanskin blinks out. Huge stun on 3. There's the follow-up from the Golem. From Jonas. Empire in some trouble, but Resolution's on the backside just laying down the shells. It's going to be Empire coming out big. 4-0. Warlock, the only one left alive. Now Limp. He's going to go down. The entire team is 6 feet under. You can't leave the sniper outside of the team fight like that, and it'll demoralize NiP into a GG. Well played. It's a short game too, Dakota, as Empire just slap them down.
I wonder if Empire wished now we had a best of 5. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. They are done. It could have been a different story if they were able to get that sniper in the heart of that fight, but he was just on the outside like, oh, don't worry, I'll just pop shots from right here. Pop, pop, pop. And then eventually, just Yoki simply comes in with the Grandmaster dunk, and it's over. I figured if they couldn't get that Roche, if they lost that fight, it was over, and
wow,
it's over.
So just even though Resolution struggled in lane, perfect showing from him, 13-0-4 on that sniper. And given how crummy his laning stage was, I feel like that is my MVP right there. He was able to recover so well, pick up so many kills, and some of that is a credit to NiP. I feel like just not respecting the sniper enough. We saw those last 2 big team fights where the sniper was just left unchecked. Nobody poking him, nobody forcing him to run around in circles, and he's just sitting there just laying in the shells, and boy, does he do a lot of damage if you let him sit back like that.
Yeah, he played reserved and cautious and sacrificed his early laning phase, I guess, in exchange for it. But that is what matters. That's what pays off. It looked like there was a couple of times that Empire wanted to gank him, but the opportunity was just not there. So he's able to live on. And, I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but maybe if NiP just waited a bit before going for that first Roche, things could have changed quite dramatically. We could still have a game here, but that's not the case. And with that, it just went from one disaster to the next, to the next, to the next, and there was just no way to bounce back. They knew it, and they had to throw in the towel. So, all right, that wraps up our coverage today, folks. If you missed the first series of NiP versus Aces Polar to get here to the grand finals, VODs are already up on YouTube, youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV. You can check those out. If you missed the opening game in this grand final series, it was supposed to be a best of 5. The teams agreed to a best of 3. Empire takes it 2-0, but game 1 was a slugfest over 60 minutes. Go back and check it out. It is certainly worth a watch. It's just about finished encoding on YouTube here as we speak. So thank you for joining
joining us. We'll see Empire in the LAN finals in Kuala Lumpur for the major All-Stars. They are the team from Europe that has qualified. I'm Zyori. I was joined today by Kotlguy1 Dakota. If you enjoyed the cast, follow us on Twitter at Zyori TV, at Kotlguy, and at Beyond the Summit. Dakota, always a pleasure, man. And can't wait to get you back in the studio.
Yeah, thanks, man. Should be soon, and I look forward to having more pleasure as always.
All right, so that's it for us today, guys. Take care, be kind to yourselves, and be kind to each other. We'll catch you on the next cast.